Can you live off a $100,000 funded account? We are not yet sure, but in this video, we shall be able to discuss and see, we shall even be able to compare a personal account and a funded account, which could be possibly able to help you as a trader, you as an individual, be able to become that successful trader that you always look to be, or you always even look up to. So when we talk about funded accounts, for those who are new to funded accounts, a funded account is an account given to you by what we call a proprietary firm. This is a funded firm which is giving you capital to trade with. So a prop firm gives you capital to trade with, and they will tell you that for you to get our money, yes, we are going to fund you money, but for us to give you our money, we want to see, are you a good trader? Can you be able to trade? Can you be that confident trader who knows what they are doing? Can you manage risk? Can you hold a trade to take profit or to stop loss? Can you be able to understand that this is a business of losses and profits, because currencies go up and down? So a prop firm is going to give you capital, which we call in form of a funded account. So get me right, I want us to get this clear. This is what we call simulated funds. They are always demo accounts. That is very true. They are always demo accounts, and as they are demo accounts, what happens is that now most of the times you have to accept that now they are giving you money, they are going to set the rules, right? And who are you not to follow the rules? Because it's like, you look at how we used to study in school. We had the whole school, but there are those people who chose to still, there are those people who could escape from school, yet the rules say do not escape from school, right? So it's the same thing in trading, that there are people who know that the rules will be set, but there are people who are going to say, I need to break these rules, right? So to survive and live off a funded account, especially a $100,000 account, could be possible, but we shall see to what extent can it be possible to. We shall see how long can you be able to survive off that, and what it takes for you to become that good funded trader. Now, as we are understanding this thing of prop firms, we have to know that there are different companies. We have FTMO, we have Funded Next. Those are all prop firms, and these are people who sat down and said, no, let us give traders capital, because 99% of traders struggle to get capital to trade with, and that is 100% guaranteed. Because when you look at the business model, it's like, this is a business of capital. The more the capital that you have, the higher chances of you risking more money to make more money. Because if you cannot tell me that I'll use 0.01 lot size on XAUSD, if I make profits, yes, I might make much as $100, high as much as $100, but I'm not going to get that confidence to say that now this money can pay off my trip to Dubai, maybe, right? But if you can be able to sit down and say, now, for example, me as a trader, if I have big capital, let's say, for example, instead of having $100 or $10, what if I go for these funded accounts and then I get like a $100,000 account, right? So those companies have rules that they set in place, so that if you can be able to follow them, you will be able to get paid out, right? But if you don't follow the rules, then the money that you use to purchase the account, you will not get paid out that money. You won't be given back the refund, right? So they will tell you that in a day, don't lose more than 1%, or more, most of them have like this 5%. Don't lose more than 5%. And we look well, if we are to look well on the statistics, is that 99% of traders fail when it comes to funded accounts. Something like, actually 98% of traders fail, 2% get to the funded stage, and only 1% gets to the payout stage. Trust me, because trading is not that easy. It's not what we look at on the internet, flashy cars. This is a business model where it is requiring you to have discipline. It's requiring you to have confidence. It's requiring you to have the ability to accept that losses are going to be part of the business, right? So if I'm to survive off a funded account, especially a 100k account, I have to ask myself now, should I use my last money to trade Forex, or should I use my last money to purchase a funded account? That is an absolutely no answer. I wouldn't recommend that, because yes, we are supposed to take risks, but you don't want to take a risk which you could see that obviously this risk is going to do what? It's going to kill you. So how do you approach trading instead now? You approach trading in this way that you will be able to understand that now the business model of trading, especially with funded accounts, is that it is going to take a little bit longer to pass the challenges. I don't want you to be the trader who's trying to risk a big amount, trying to pass the account very fast. You might risk and pass the account in one day, but if you lose that account, remember, you have hustled hard to get that hard-earned money to be able to purchase that funded account, right? So being able to understand those conditions that are placed there helps you to understand that now the business model itself is not easy. It's not a get rich quick scheme, because you will see that sometimes you are going to experience what we call drawdown periods. A drawdown period is that period when you're losing constantly, you're on a losing streak, right? And one thing I've learned to teach traders is that losing streaks are normal, drawdowns are normal, and you have to learn how to accept them, right? So if you're to be this good trader, at least accept. You need to have what we call acceptance, that sometimes you're not going to be right, sometimes you're going to go wrong, right? And for you to become that good trader, have that ability to say, what if I can be able to pass this account, but what if I can also have to accept that losses are going to be there? What if I can accept that it is going to take a little bit longer, right? So be this trader who's going to say, now since the markets are going to be harsh, sometimes they're going to make me lose money, sometimes they're going to make me money, right? I'm not going to be what? I'm not going to be in that process of saying that I'm going to rush the process, right? So be this person who's going to say, no, I'm not going to panic. The business model is going to take time, but it is worth it in the end, because if you see well how these companies operate, they will tell you, pass phase one, make 8%, right? That's like a trial test, right? Make 8%. After that, make 8%. Then we shall give you another test of making 5% or 4% in most companies. So meaning, if it's a $100,000 account, you'll be able to say, I'm going to make $8,000, of which you can't make that in one day. Or even if you make it in one day, you should be able to, maybe unless you have a high risk and reward. I feel like without over risking, if I'm risking 1%, I'm a big advocate of risking 1% to make 3%, because in the end 3% is not bad. And if you see well, even if I have two losses in a row, I'll be able to recover without having any issues that are interrupting me, right? So for you to live off a $100,000 account, you have to ask yourself, do I have money aside? Have I set up some savings like for 6 months, so that I can give myself a breathing room for my trading, for results to come, and accept tolerance of losses and everything, right? So being able to put yourself in that situation of saying that I don't want to get caught off guard. Even if I have losses, they should not affect my psychology. If I have bills to pay, I shouldn't be desperate to make money in trading very fast in order to live off the money that I've made in trading, right? So to live off a $100,000 account, it is very possible, but I will give an example. You could save up like 6 months of food and everything, and pay the bills and everything. Then you give yourself another 6 months to pass the account. So meaning, of course, you're not going to pass in 6 months. That's a long period. You will pass, like, let's say in 2 months, depending on how the market conditions are, of course. You know that, right? So if I give myself like that buffer of a lot of time, I'm going to sit down and say, I'm not going to rush the process, because when you're rushing the process, you're also tempting the company to follow you up and say, this guy is over risking, this guy is over leveraging, right? So if I can put myself in that situation of saying, no, let me risk 1% to make 3%. And you never know, on some good trades, you could even scale in the position. But risk management should be one of the things that will teach you how to pass these funded accounts, because if you're not managing risk, you're gambling, literally, right? And this is not a business of gambling. If you hear anyone saying trading is a scam, it's because they don't know how currencies operate, because currencies are devaluating, currencies are going up and down. So don't ever listen to those people, because it's a business model. It's all about, forex bureaus. Money goes up, money goes down, and the rates keep changing, right? So it's the same thing, only that for us we're doing it online, right? So being a good trader is understanding that a 100k account, I can live off that, right? But at the starting point, I'm not going to live off that, because you will have to first pass phase one, phase two, make a payout. And the good thing about these companies is that when you make a payout, you get back even the refund that you used to invest in the business, right? So in that process, it becomes easy for you to say, if this business model is going to work for me, at least let me be able to give it some breathing time. Even if I have bills to pay, let them not be affecting my trading. My psychology should not be confusing, right? So if I can sit down and say, now, as a trader, I'm going to buy this $100,000 account, but I'm going to give myself 6 months. 6 months, even if you're making 1% or 1 to 3%, that is realistic and achievable. If I risk 1% at $1,000 and I make $3,000, I'll request a payout, right? So you may find I used $500 to purchase that account, but the return to investment was I've got back around like $2,500, right? That is not bad. Maybe only that now with time. So to live off a $100,000 account could be possible in these third world countries of ours. $3,000 in Uganda, in Ugandan shillings, that's a lot of money, trust me. $3,000 in Kenyan shillings, $3,000 in Tanzanian shillings. In these local states of ours, it is some good money that you could change your life with. It could be something that could even start up a potential business for you, right? So I always tell people that yes, you can live off a $100,000 account, in my opinion, as long as you don't rush that process. If you rush, you're going to crash. That is 100% guaranteed. And the only way to escape that is to sit down and say, me as a trader, how can I plan? Because you need to plan for it to be able to pass that account. You don't just gamble around. No, you sit down and say, I need to have a risk management plan, right? If I'm risking 1%, I'm going to make 2% or 3% per trade, right? So in a series of like 10 trades, if I'm risking 1 to 3, if I'm having a 1 to 3 risk to reward, you will find myself having like 10 trades, and then I have like 5 losses or maybe 6 losses, but the other 4 good trades with a risk reward of 3, I have passed the funded account, right? So you have to sit down and plan. And then also, what if you start the account and you're in losses, right? That means that now what you need is what you call a drawdown recovery plan, right? A drawdown recovery plan helps you to be able to understand that losses are going to be there, and you should learn to accept losses, because losses are what build you. Losses are the building blocks, right? So in that process, once you put that into your mind, it becomes easy for you to compare and say, no, I'm not going to rush the process. I'm going to do what? Let me be able to accept that losses are going to be there, and let me just size down my risk, and then be able to have potential trades that could possibly give me like good quality setups, and then also take good trades without having emotions, without having to panic. So in conclusion, as we conclude this conversation, I would love to give you an example. I was working as a fuel attendant on the petrol station, but when I purchased that account, I had a side job. So my take home to you is that, please, if you can be able to afford getting a job as you're passing that account, get a job. Try to learn as much as you can. Try to get your bills paid with the side income. You never know, in future, the side income could even bring in what? The trading business of the funded account could even bring in more money than the main job. But with time, the only difference between you and your success is what we call timing. You don't rush the process. You have to make sure that you accept that losses are going to be there. You have to be able to be at ease and being comfortable with accepting that it is going to take time, and in that process, I will win in the end. And trust me, you can do this, because I'm not different from you. You have seen my journey. You have seen me struggle up to where I am now. I'm not very far, but at least I'm somewhere where I can be able to share what has got me to this place. And I know with that, trust me, you will be able to master this trading if you have your right knowledge, if you have the right guidance. Trust me, it will be easy for you to make that money, and you will be able to become that good trader that you always wanted to be. And yeah, so I'm always watching from afar. If you have found value in this video, trust me, you can leave a comment. Maybe you have a question about funded accounts, you can also leave a question there. We shall reply you. And yeah, so I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to subscribe, and as always, Paul, and I'm always watching from afar. I'm rooting for you.